All right, everyone, buckle up because something huge just went down, and it's going to shake things up in a major way. Imagine this. A television icon, someone who's dominated the screen for decades, finally faced a challenger who didn't flinch. This person stood firm, held their ground, and delivered a knockout punch so impactful that it sent shockwaves through the entire network. What unfolded next? Let's just say the aftermath was nothing short of dramatic. But here's where it gets really interesting. By the time we wrap this up, you'll discover the real reason behind Whoopi Goldberg's sudden disappearance from the next episode of The View. What did the network executives reveal? What's truly happening behind the scenes? Stay tuned because I'm about to spill all the details. Oh, and before we dive back in, did you know that 99% of you watching haven't hit that subscribe button yet? If you're enjoying this content and want to see more, take a quick second to subscribe. It's a small gesture, but it makes a huge difference for this channel and helps us keep bringing you the stories you love. Join our community and let's keep growing together. Now, back to the drama.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
It all began the moment Carolina Levit walked onto The View's set. Fans of the show are well aware that Whoopi Goldberg and her fellow co-hosts have a reputation for pushing back against, and frequently overpowering, conservative voices. But this time, the tone shifted dramatically, and the result was something nobody could have predicted.
I said something yesterday that really pissed me off. And that was, she said, there will be no wokeness here.
Oh, yeah.
Let me explain something to you. Because without that wokeness, you might not have that job.
Yeah.
The most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
This wasn't just another heated discussion. No, this was an all-out, no-holds-barred confrontation. Carolina didn't just stand her ground. She exposed double standards, dismantled weak arguments, and left the entire panel, including Whoopi, utterly stunned. For the first time ever on The View, the power balance shifted in a way no one anticipated. But what exactly did Carolina say that left Whoopi visibly shaken on live television? And why is the fallout so severe that ABC's top brass are now scrambling to contain the fallout? Trust me, this is one moment you'll regret missing.
I think she's probably been put in there because, according to Donald Trump, she's a 10. You know that's what it is.
I want to be clear, though. It's not her first job. It was her first press briefing. She worked in the previous Trump administration.
Things spiraled into chaos when Whoopi, Joy Behar, and the rest of the co-hosts began schooling Carolina on the topic of wokeness. As expected, tensions flared. Whoopi, with her signature air of superiority, rolled her eyes dismissively, while Joy couldn't help but toss in her trademark-biting remarks. But here's where things took an unexpected turn. Carolina didn't flinch, not even for a second.
Do you want to take this?
So, you cannot be attractive and smart? I will try to give Joy the benefit of, well, thank you. I try to give Joy the benefit of the doubt that she didn't see that briefing. Because if you saw that yesterday on numerous topics, no big binder, I think she might have had a different impression of this young woman who held her own.
I mean, you would have to give her the benefit of the doubt that she did absolutely no research or reading about anything dealing with Carolyn Levit before she made that remark. Because Carolyn Levit worked, I mean, she went to St. Anselm College. She worked for WMUR
Ran for Congress?
In New Hampshire. She ran for Congress at the age of 25, put out a very good campaign. She lost by 8 or 9 points, but she still put on a good campaign. Then she was the press secretary for the Trump campaign, going on TV literally every day.
Well, heavily pregnant and a new mom.
Pregnant, yeah, she's a new mother. And Then she goes out yesterday and gives an, and this again, this is speaking very objectively, because I've watched every press secretary since going back to Marlon Fitzwater. Yeah, I'm that old. And she went out there for her very first briefing at the age of 27 years old, the youngest press secretary ever, and did a terrific job of
At one moment, the co-hosts attempted to downplay Carolina's achievements, insinuating that her success was solely based on her appearance. The irony? These are the very women who pride themselves on advocating for women's empowerment, except, it seems, when those women happen to hold conservative views. In those cases, they're fair game for ridicule and criticism.
Are completely out of touch with reality. And you're right, ABC should wake up.
Colleagues, I would like to talk about Joe Biden and Donald Trump, who you work for.
I am stating facts that your colleagues have stated in the past.
Okay,
now, as
I'm
for
sorry,
this
guys.
debate,
We're going to come back out to the panel. Caroline, thank you very much for your time. That was so good. So good. In a statement afterwards, this young lady claimed her, quote, on-air snub proves that you know who will not be treated fairly in the upcoming debate. Now, do you think this is going to make people doubt whether CNN can stay objective, or is this more the same of it's all, everybody's against me, it's all rigged, I tell you. Is everything rigged?
No, it's their MO. That's what they do. Rachel Maddow said last week, she's like, if the election is lost, it was rigged. If there's a debate, then the moderator...
And then, in a moment that stopped everyone in their tracks, Carolina fired back with a comeback so cutting it left the entire audience speechless.
While I vow to provide the truth from this podium, we ask that all of you in this room hold yourselves to that same standard. We know for a fact there have been lies that have been pushed by many legacy media outlets in this country about this president, about his family, and we will not accept that. We will call you out when we feel that your reporting is wrong or there is misinformation about this White House.
Boom. She's got more.
I would like to point out to each and every one of you that in 2024, when Joe Biden was in the Oval Office or upstairs in the residence sleeping, I'm not so sure, egg prices increased 65% in this country.
Bam!
Whoopi! Do you even listen to what you're saying? Carolina shot back. You sit here every day talking about women's empowerment, but the second a conservative woman achieves something, you chalk it up to her appearance. That's not empowerment. That's pure sexism. Mic drop. The room went dead silent. Even Joy Behar, who's always quick with a cutting remark, was left without a word. But Carolina wasn't finished. Wokeness isn't about fairness or equality, she continued. It's a tool to shut down anyone who dares to think differently. And Whoopi, you prove that point every single time you're on this show. The audience erupted in gasps. Within minutes, social media was on fire. Hashtags like Whoopi Exposed and Carolina Dominates the View started trending everywhere. The internet couldn't get enough. Sure, we all know what that really means. At this point, it's clear ABC is at a crossroads. They have a tough choice to make. Do they overhaul the show and introduce some much-needed balance, or do they keep pushing the same agenda, risking a total collapse? Let's face it, The View has always fed on drama. But when the backlash starts to overshadow the ratings, the end is near. And right now, they're teetering on the edge. So, what do you think? Was Carolina Levit's moment the most jaw-dropping in The View's history? Has Whoopi finally crossed a line? Should she be let go? And most importantly, is this the beginning of the end for The View as we know it? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss the latest updates or unfiltered showdowns. Oh, and remember, I promise to reveal why Whoopi skipped the next episode and what the producers really said. Here's the scoop. The fallout was so intense that ABC is reportedly planning a major overhaul. Whoopi's role on the show? It's on thin ice. This story is still unfolding, so stay tuned. It's far from over.